Meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center watching a severe thunderstorm warning now in play for this dark area. Things intensifying pretty quickly here in Bradford County. Seeing some rotations starting to come together as well here, folks. I just posted some things. We're talking about maybe gusts to 45, but now maybe gusts to 60 miles an hour developing around Starke, and can't even completely rule out a quick spin up tornadoes. The things have started to escalate here just a little bit as we're on the air live with you right now. As we're looking here toward this dark area, we have this red and green coming together right around town. We may be seeing a developing circulation, so we need to go ahead and get folks into shelter here. Get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. As I'm going to go ahead and put my mouse here on the screen right now. A severe thunderstorm warning for this dark area. The rotation's starting to tighten up. What's the start? They're saying here in the chat. The radar is sometimes delayed just a little bit, so you got to bear that in mind here as well. And I think the worst of the circulation will be right over town, maybe passing to the east, southeast of town here as well, getting not that far from where I'm at even. So we need to be really careful here. In fact, I'm going to go ahead. It may not be the best look, but we're going to pull up our camera here. I don't want to miss something if we have some type of circulation on our camera here. Right now, it may not be the best look because it may be developing more south and it to be more toward the west, but it's at least worth giving a look here at this right now as we continue to watch that polygon go into clay in parts of Alachua as well. As it looks like the camera not even really showing anything right now. I think we're having some technical issues with that. So actually, let's go ahead and go back on over right now for a moment to our Doppler radar. It looks like we're not getting a source on that camera. Actually, I think it's just so dark here, folks. We're not really able to get a good look at that right now, unfortunately. Getting pretty dark as we get closer towards sunset. So I did see a lightning flash looking at it behind the scenes just now. So we're just getting a little too dark for it, honestly, the way we have it in here. I think you can kind of see the tree line a little, but that tells how nasty the storms are coupled with the sunset here right now, as they're now saying the circulation is right over the greater Starke area. As we were just talking about here a moment ago, the radar can run behind sometimes. We need folks. I would go ahead and treat this like a tornado warning. Go ahead and make sure you're inside and away from windows. Get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. As I've seen the power flicker cry a bit here in the studio in the last few moments, that might be indicative of some damage being done to some electrical equipment. Who knows, obviously. It could just be the wind shaking the lines around. But we need to go ahead and get folks in the shelter here. A possible tornado around Starke. Severe thunderstorm warning right now here, folks. But again, things have kind of ramped up a little bit. I would just be on the safe side like what we saw last December 24th. Just be on the safe side here. I said it then, I'll say it now, and it may be already a little late as things have really ramped up in the last 8 minutes or so. But we could have a tornado in the ground here in Bradford County and just not actually have a warning for it because we're a little further away, and sometimes the radar doesn't have the best angle on the stuff in Bradford County. So we got to be really careful here. Things have ramped up in a hurry. Gusts not just 45, but now maybe 60, maybe even a little higher with a tornado. And this is pretty tight rotation here as we're looking towards southeast 126th Street. Here toward areas there east of 301, but even some circulation here close to where I'm at. So we got to be careful here, folks. We got to be really careful with this developing weather situation in Bradford County. Even if you're not where the circulations are necessarily, severe thunderstorm is in the area. Starke, Keystone Heights, Kingsley, Lake Geneva, Sampson, Camp Landon, Waldo, and Hampton under this severe thunderstorm warning. So we need to be very careful out here right now. Again, we're watching things very carefully. I'm going to go back to the camera because if we're seeing power flashes, we might be able to see something. Again, I don't know if it's in quite the right spot for that, but we'll look one more time just to make sure. I saw some lightning on it, so maybe we'll see some lightning on this. I know it's a little weird looking, but you can actually see the color a little bit better. It's adjusted a little bit better now. But as we're getting close to sunset, this isn't a night vision camera, but just with that rain and the darker skies, we're trying to get an idea of how things look outside right now. And it does look pretty nasty, folks. It's hard to see exactly what's happening except this rain coming on down. You see the lightning, though. I thought we would kind of get that look here on our camera. So again, I see the thunderstorm warning for the Bradford County area right now. I know this is just a little darker than maybe what it actually is, but it's still pretty nasty at sunset with a storm coming through, intensifying. We were thinking things might ramp down, but sometimes right at sunset things can kind of crop on up just a little bit. And we now have a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible tag in it. And we have some decent rotation here near and just to the east of 100. This is very close. In fact, to that area where we had that tornado on December 24th last year, so got to be really careful here, folks. Go ahead and just be prepared, and maybe taking those tornado precautions here to be on the safe side here in Bradford County right now, as things look pretty ferocious outside and pretty ferocious here within the Doppler Radar algorithms. Again, the thunderstorm warning continues until 5:45. We're talking about some damaging winds and continuous cloud-to-ground lightning occurring with this storm. Move indoors immediately, as lightning is one of nature's leading killers. Remember, if you can hear thunder, you're close enough to be struck by lightning here. So again, a nasty situation. I know it's a little bit on the darker side. We just got an update on the warning, but I'm going to go back to the camera real quick. I'm going to go back over to our camera. You can kind of see maybe that leading edge coming through, maybe lighting up just a little bit here with the cloud cover and with the illumination there with our camera mode. But the warning does continue here till 5:45. Just remember, when thunder roars, you want to go indoors, seek shelter inside that sturdy building, and stay away from those windows. Again, you want to treat this like a tornadic situation, lower end tornado. We could be having winds here in that 65 to 85 mile an hour range. You gotta be kind of cognizant and careful of that fact. As we once again go back over to the radar here, that's some strong wind, if not tornadic wind, maybe reaching the surface here. 50 mile an hour wind showing up here as we get toward Treat Road now, just crossing into Clay County. But the threat isn't over for Bradford County yet. The threat is not over, even though the worst of this may be moving into Clay. We can't let our guard down here in Bradford County, folks. We can't let that guard down here because we do have a potential tornado in here, at least a severe thunderstorm with that tornado possible tag within the warning in and of itself. So don't necessarily see a debris signature, which is good, but a severe thunderstorm warning in play for Bradford, Clay, and a little bit, very small chunk of Outages. I mean, we're talking really small, close just toward Waldo, not even all of Waldo in here. Is the worst of the threat here. We're watching that move from Bradford into Clay, but still some of this wind in Bradford County possibly reaching the surface. If you guys have any damage reports, please just let me know here. Let me know. They're now talking in the chat. There may have been here a brief debris signature. They're saying now, person in media and broadcast media saying there could have been. They're trying to verify that with the National Weather Service in Jacksonville. I'm going to go ahead and pop up radar scope now here on my end. Again, things really ramped up there, unfortunately. I'm going to see if there was something. There may have been something, but it was really hard to tell. I couldn't see that co-located enough, but let's go ahead and go back. We still have power where I'm at, but we definitely have some nasty signatures within the Doppler radar, folks. Again, we're looking here. I'm going to go ahead and pull up our CC mode to see if there was something. I know with that tornado last year, we didn't have a debris signature, so I'm curious to see what they say here in the chat session. They might be talking about that area right there, but for media to be talking about the Starke area here in the chat, is interesting. They think it was just inflow. Okay, that's interesting because I think I see what they're talking about here. Once we loop this, we don't have the best internet, so I can't always continue to loop this, but I think I see what she's talking about here in the chat. Weather Service says it's just inflow here, which should be good news, obviously, but still that means it's a pretty strong storm, and that's very close to where I'm at here, just to the south, in fact. So this is just past it to the south. I hope that's just inflow, obviously, because if not, that means we actually had a tornado on the ground there for a few frames. So hopefully that's just inflow here, but we're going to go ahead and back this up. I can't guarantee that it was just inflow. I'm hoping it was, though. I'm hoping it was as we look here, because the circulation, there was one spin right over town, and then another area of wind enhancement toward the south. And this might not get quite the right mode here because it's going to kind of bounce around in the time frame, but this is the current frame. We're going to kind of see if we have a drop over one of those. I mean, that one drops just to the south, so hopefully, again, that might just be inflow here. But I mean, that's again very close here to where I'm at, right over town. If that was actually a tornado, I mean, there'll be reports coming in here, folks, from the Starke area, because there might have been a tornado right over town, according to our algorithms. But you never really know here. Hopefully that wasn't the case. Hopefully that wasn't the case here. But again, we'll go ahead and go back on over as we look here on our Doppler radar. You can see here the threat really escalated last few minutes. I'll go ahead and put our wind mode on. This is going to go to earlier, so I apologize for that, but this is going to kind of jump ahead on you. But you saw how things really escalated right around town here very, very quickly here, folks. That can happen sometimes with that shear. The storm's able to take advantage of that here for a few moments and be potentially severe or even for a split moment tornadic. So we had that spin, I mean, right over the town area. So you just got to be cognizant here. Just got to be cognizant. I'm going to check to see if we have some reports, because that was definitely intriguing to say the least, and might have been more than that, because if we had something there, we could have had something right there as we're looking just south of 100 and not too far from the bypass out here. In fact, you can kind of see there with that spin, that lower level skit trying to sew up here, and then something's really developing very quickly on us. So I'm going to check some sources and be back here in about 2.5 minutes. If we have any damage reports, they'd be very initial here, but I'm curious to see what's happening with this situation from the ground level. If you have reports, let me know. I'll relay them here. If you guys pass them along on Facebook, if you just put them in the comments. I'm not actually logged in the way I have it right now. Just put them in the comments if you have some type of report for me, and I'll try to pass them along here in the next couple of minutes. Back here in the Weather Center now. Haven't got any reports in yet in terms of Bradford County information, but we do have some power outages now coming out of Union and Columbia counties. So let me go ahead and switch on over to our power outage.us source here as we kind of sort things out. We're trying to give you guys an idea of what's going on. So looking toward Bradford, none as a 516, but if something happened right after that, then that's not going to be accounted for yet. But you can see here, Union 174 customers in the dark, Columbia County 844. So just kind of trying to line things up for you with our PowerOutage.us information as we go back on over toward the radar now. We're going to see if we get reports in power outages maybe in Bradford County over the next few moments. Definitely could be coming out. I saw the power flicker multiple times where I'm at here. We're still on the east side of town here, getting closer toward that Starke Golf and Country Club area. But again, I'm going to go ahead and check here, Clay Electric even, because we might have some that aren't showing up on our aggregated information there that we were just showing you. So it's the thunderstorm warning continuing. The last gust there, 16 at the airport down toward Keystone. I know they had that big racing event there over the weekend. Luckily that's not now, because it would be pretty nasty and dangerous for the storminess being around if that was taking place today. We got lucky with good weather then. It's been good weather for a while, but unfortunately folks, we're seeing a situation that's a little bit different in play here at this point. We're seeing some dangerous conditions here kind of impact our region. I know gathering information behind the scenes. I know we'll make sure we're not missing anything. Last update, no outages in Bradford according to Clay Electric. So maybe it was just something aloft and we didn't get that feature down to the surface. As you see, Augusta 27 there at Keystone Airport. But sometimes it takes a while for information to really trickle out. I know with that event last year, it took several hours for that information to really come on out of there past really just the reports there, maybe on the very local level, really getting that reporting out there that Christmas Eve night. But again, continue to watch things, monitor the situation. Rotation right now has weakened some for sure, but that scan beforehand, actually, and that's interesting to see that was actually ramping up a little bit there right around areas that are pretty rural, but south of Kingsley Lake there, south of Camp Landon. You could kind of see here maybe something developing. I mean, technically it might be kind of getting there closer to what you would call Camp Landon, but south of Kingsley Lake there for sure. So again, continuing to watch things, looking at things here with our debris detection. Not seeing anything at the moment. I'm going to check to see if anything dropped out a moment ago there as we're looking toward Bradford County. I know seeing something there now. Is that what I think that is? I hope that's not what I think that is. That may be a debris signature from a minute ago. That is something if that's a debris signature, folks. Hopefully that's not the case, though. I'm checking now. I'm going between multiple sources here. Wow, that's something. I hope that's not that is definitely something showing up in our radar scope. That makes me nervous, folks. I'm not 100% sure because that is very close to the rotation, and that may not be inflow here we're talking about. I kind of wish we had a tornado warning on this storm, to be quite honest, but I know the rotation doesn't look as tight at this moment, but that's something that's interesting to say the least here, folks. Could just be inflow for sure, but that's concerning to me. So again, we're going to go ahead and switch back on over there. That lines up with the rotation perfectly. So definitely could have had a tornado in there, folks. It's a thunderstorm warning, but severe thunderstorms can occasionally do produce tornadoes. So could just be something there, even maybe some contamination on the radar site. But that's definitely concerning. So again, we're going to go ahead and go back on over toward velocity mode. I'm trying to make sure we haven't got anything new from the Weather Service. I don't see anything new, but that lines up really well there with that circulation, and it may not be inflow at this point. But again, we're going to continue to watch things, and what I was showing you might have been tornado debris. I know I'm kind of trying to go around it a little bit since there's no official tornado warning, and I think it's just inflow, but you never know here in these situations. Sometimes things are a little harder to see on the radar algorithms. So again, we're going to continue to watch. It might just be something being kind of contaminating the viewpoint here. You just never know. You just never know here in these situations. So again, we're going to continue to watch things. We're going to continue to monitor. Let me go ahead and see where we want to go now. I'm going to zoom back out just a little bit here. I'm going to check to see if we have anything else coming in from Bradford County. Hopefully nothing happened, but sometimes right after an event, you're not going to be able to get that information to come in right away. So let me go ahead and look here at anything that's streaming on it. I don't see anything of concern at this moment, but I do see some other meteorologists saying they were concerned about the circulation here on a national level. So again, just continuing to monitor things here in Bradford County, continuing to track this weather situation. I'm checking here behind the scenes what's going on right now. I know somebody else looks like they were commenting on my video, maybe some type of debris signature trying to develop. Again, we've not had that confirmed by the Weather Service, but it's interesting to see that within the algorithm, very close to where we are at cloud weather for sure. So again, we're going to continue to watch things. Let's go ahead and zoom back on in. And had a tornado warning in 5 months, and now we've had a day where we had 1 tornado warning, 2 thunderstorm warnings, and then maybe something there mysterious within the radar algorithms. Don't really know for sure. It could have just been the way the beams hidden things, because Weather Service hadn't really said anything, so they must have some reasoning here behind this not actually being a tornado as they dropped that warning here. Now that severe thunderstorm warning has come to an end as we approach 5:45. So again, continuing to watch things very carefully here in the Weather Center, checking the latest scans, definitely watching things. I know you can see Green Cove, Starke, Keystone here, folks. We're going to zoom back out just a little bit more. This line has kind of seen a weakening in the last few frames, but to see that there a moment ago, definitely not necessarily what you want to see here, as we ended up having the CC kind of show something there, whether it's just an inflow signature, contamination, or what. We'll find out here in the coming hours, I suppose, as we look here at the situation. Before I wrap it up, I want to make sure we don't have any damage reports streaming in. So if you don't have a warning, I want to make sure nothing comes my way here in the next couple of minutes. So I'm looking at some things behind the scenes here in the Weather Center, make sure we don't have anything, because I would like to know if we have some confirmation of something occurring here. I'm checking some of my emergency management sources here, Bradford County, see if there's anything coming in their way right now. I'm going to go ahead and check Facebook to see if we have anything there. Check some of the comments, people talking about the yard lights coming on there because of it getting just so dark here, and you saw that on a camera a little while ago. So definitely an intriguing situation. Somebody else says reminiscent of the tornado that we had last December, just the eerie feeling of it, and not necessarily confirmation of anything. So just kind of reading some comments there. We're going to go ahead and go back over on behind the scenes to the power outage map to see if we have anything here of note. We're going to check, because if there's something here, I would like to get it on the air. Don't still have any in Bradford. We still don't have any is what I mean to say there, but that could change, could be late with the information, or maybe again just contamination here. But I'm really kind of wanting to make sure everybody stays safe, since this is right here in our primary area. You can't take chances in these situations. I mean, if it's 50-50, I want to err on the side of caution here, even 40-60. You just want to err on the side of caution in these situations here if there's a possible tornado trying to evolve. So again, I know I've just seen it so much here. I've seen it so much around here lately in these situations, folks, where we just, the radar beam, unfortunately, isn't able to really see the tornado circulation enough here in this scenario. You're just not able to see it good enough. I know we had a situation there in 2015. We had 2 tornadoes touch down without warnings. We had a situation there toward 2016. We had a Lodi tornado touch down without a tornado warning. Actually, I guess that would have been early 2017 as I think about that, but getting there as we look back. And then we had last year's Christmas Eve tornado. Unfortunately, just hard to see from the radar. So that's why I'm erring on the side of caution, because I know this area, I know the history. We had multiple tornadoes over the years touch down without tornado warnings. I'm not trying to hype this up here, folks, but you do see a little bit of remnant circulation trying to still maybe be apparent here within the radar. This will be our latest correlation coefficient scan here in just a moment. No active warning at the moment. Interesting to see that kind of fade away to the north and west now. So again, can't guarantee what that was. Just interesting. Could have been just an anomaly here within the Doppler because things do look to be kind of moving here a little bit faster than that on correlation coefficient. So again, could this be some type of artifact here within the radar as well? You just never know in this situation as we continue to monitor things. I'm going to check for reports one more time here. Definitely unusual signature to see, but it could have just been a coincidence. Some other folks are asking here in the chat maybe about that debris signature a few scans ago. I mean, it was there. We just don't know. Maybe it was, again, maybe the weather service here. Roy, this, again, still feels that was inflow there, or some type of contamination, maybe some type of beam issue there. You just never know. Trying to come up with alternative explanations for that. There definitely could have been one. Don't get me wrong, they're asking about it here in the chat, so I'm curious to see, because that other one looked a lot more prominent than that first one, but again, it could have just been something else going on here, an unusual situation with the environment, maybe creating something, maybe some type of fake-looking type debris signature. Roy wasn't debris, but again, there's definitely interest in the weather community and what we were seeing there within the radar. So hopefully we don't have any damage reports. I haven't got any yet, but I'm just staying on a little longer in case we have damage reports here, folks. Just stay tuned. Stay with me here. We have a damage report. I'm going to try to pass it along to you. Definitely pass it along to you here in the Weather Center. I'm going to go ahead and keep watching things. I'm going to keep watching the situation here as it evolves because this is our primary area. I mean, I know we cover 62 counties, but and I'll go ahead and see our covered area while we wait for more details. But again, we're going to go ahead and pop on up here our graphics, our coverage area. We're in Bradford County, folks, and we really want to make sure that Lake Region / Bradford Union County area are covered, getting there in the Detroit County area in general. So just trying to make sure we give you guys the very latest as we are trying to find out what was happening there in the ward areas of Clay and Bradford counties. Still seeing some broad circulation, not as well defined as what it was earlier, which is good news. But again, still seeing what folks are kind of wondering about here in the chat session with this. I know I'm kind of staying a little long here. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take another break here in the cover to be back in about 2.5 minutes with more information as we wait for details to come in from the Weather Service and maybe some more damage reports as we still have some stronger storms here in the picture. Let me go ahead and pull up our latest significant weather advisories. That's from earlier here, and that's the latest one here toward the south as they're talking about land spouts and wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour possible in the region. Meteorologist Casey Cloud back here. We're going to go ahead and wrap up the coverage since we don't have any new warnings, and as of now, no information about a tornado actually touching down, though it did seem there might have been something mysterious within the radar scans that could have been a debris signature. So we're going to look back at our rotation tracker, though, here before we do in the coverage. We had a lot of wind shear around. I know it's dark outside now. That sun has gone on down and it's already dark, but you see all that wind shear, all that turbulence around Starke, definitely intriguing, and just intriguing overall to see things here set up within the Doppler scenario. So again, no reports in as of the moment. I still can't write. Maybe something trying to develop here in our southeastern counties, despite them not really being under arrest, but those parameters should fall off. Even some more here. I know our surface-based cape's still there some, and then in terms of tornado parameters, right on the edge of those, trying to get those aligned. Something could have been aligned, at least in terms of some wind damage, something like that here, just for a moment toward the north. Still haven't really seen any power outages showing up within our system now, so that's good news here too, but it could just be we're having some delayed reports, or maybe it's just more loft and kind of an illusion here within our technology, and things weren't really reaching the surface necessarily. So we'll find out in the coming days. I know if there's something to tell you about, we'll let you know, and then let you know tomorrow morning on that full update as well. So we're going to go and wrap it up for now. If there's anything else that breaks, we'll let you know in terms of any warnings. Otherwise, we'll be posting if something did occur here, if we have some confirmation of some type of tornado, something like that. And otherwise, we're back here tomorrow night with our full update from the Weather Center on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Thanks so much for trusting me. You can always go to cloudweather.com/radar for an interactive radar look anytime. Have a great night.